Hi, Laura. Hi, how are you? Gosh, we haven't seen you for ages, have we? It's been a couple of years, is it? A year?
It's got to be a year.
Yeah.
A lot has happened, isn't it, Laura? Because we were going to go on your retreat, and then that was cancelled, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Gosh.
So I had a yoga retreat coming up. And,
so I'd like to introduce Yoga Poole. Today's person is going to talk to us, and she's going to enthrall us, and going to just have fun. And obviously, this is April. She's well, I've introduced her before. Has so many different things that she does. Yeah, and we started this YouTube channel to really get to know local people and local people's knowledge, because we have so many amazing people, and we thought we'll just do this YouTube channel and bring all the people on board, so people who can help, who've been through a lot, who can give tips and so on. So this is what we are trying to do, and hopefully it'll be very successful. And so today is Laura Poole, and we've known Laura for a long time. She did a graphic. I was going to say traffic, graphic design, and she worked with the pop-up school. You did so well there, didn't you? And then you went to India and God knows where else, and you just had an amazing time abroad, and you are a yoga teacher, and you've been doing yoga online as well, helping loads of people. So really, we want to start by asking you just to say in your own words your story, so that it's coming from you rather than from me.
Yeah, so like you said, I did graphics, so that's what I studied in university, and I still use that now, so like within my own business, and I still help other people with things like logos and stuff. Then I went traveling for a while, so after university I went and spent a year in Australia.
I forgot Australia. Yes.
Yeah, so I spent a year and a bit traveling, and then I came back and I met the Pop-Up Business School, so I was a project manager with them, and I got to travel the UK helping people set up their businesses, so that was great fun, and it really helped with like my confidence and everything. That's when I started public speaking, and yeah, it was great fun with them. And then I left the Pop-Up Business School to go to India to do my yoga teacher training, and yeah, so I did that a year ago now. So that was back over a year ago. So it was back in March last year. So I've been a yoga teacher since then. And yeah, as you said earlier. Oh.
Yeah, I saw you on Facebook playing the guitar. So I mean, amazing. I really love that song. It's my favorite song. Well, one of my favorite songs.
Yeah, so during lockdown, I took the time to finally learn the guitar, because I've had my guitar for about 3 years now, and I kind of pick it up and then I put it back down, and then I pick it up and then I put it back down. So I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to learn something in lockdown. So I can now play a couple of songs on my guitar, which is great fun.
Yeah, that's amazing. And you are so April, would you like to start and ask some my husband Frank is still doing his DIY stuff.
Hi ladies.
Okay, Laura, so what about in your childhood? Did you have any sort of strange experiences that have resulted in you being who you are today? Like, did you have any spiritual experiences? Did you see any UFOs? Anything? Did you have, strange dreams, past life memories? Did you have any inkling that you would be, the spiritual person that you are today when you were younger?
No, not really. However, I've had vivid dreams my whole life. Like, I have always had vivid dreams. Like, I used to fall out of bed when I was younger, and even now I have vivid dreams every single night. And people say to me, like, I wake up and don't remember, but I remember what's happened like clearly, and all sorts of strange stuff.
Wow.
Well, I think they say because, you know, you're a star seed, aren't you? Is it? Are you a star seed? Do you know
What's
April?
the stuff?
They're the people born, not the millennials, but more people being born today because they remember quite a lot. So, like, for example, my son, he has very, very vivid dreams. You know, they're so real that, and he could spin them into a story, into a proper novel. So I keep telling him, please write it down because it's amazing what he's doing at night time. You know, so
how old is Brody, Danielle?
not Brody, Jed.
Oh, Jed. Right. So you're talking about 29 years old, that age.
Yeah. No, like your daughter, Gabby. She's
oh yeah.
The same generation, but she's quite
That's right.
connected, isn't it? I mean, Gabby's connected in a different way. I mean, as I said to you before, I can remember her talking about the different clouds, and she was only like maybe 13 or 14, and she knew all about the different clouds. You know, I thought, well, we all know about two types. She was just going on. So these people are connected, just like you are, because you're only like 25, are you? 25, Laura?
I'm 28 on Sunday.
28?
On Sunday, yeah.
Oh, dear, I made you younger by 2 years. Or 3 years. No, but you're from the same generation because Gabby's 28, my son is 29, and you're going to be 28. So you're from the same group of people who've incarnated on Earth. And you've got so much potential that you probably don't know where to go with it. Because my son is, like I said, his dreams are so vivid, they could be a novel. Each night, they could end up to be a novel. So really, you're connected to something special. So are you writing them down?
That's interesting. Yeah, that's interesting, Laura, that you had that during your childhood, isn't it? So are you do you have any aspirations? Where do you go from here? Like, you're a yoga teacher at the moment. What's your next step?
So I'm glad you asked. So I've just started during lockdown a new business, and it's called Love Your Damn Self. And it's basically about helping, like, our main target is other women. So I'm doing it with my friend Amy, who actually also works at the pop-up business school. So when I left, she started working there then. So we're kind of on the same page about everything. And we're doing it to help women our age, so kind of like millennial women, who feel like maybe they don't fit into society. So they just know that there's kind of like, you know, how we feel like at this age now, like, should we be having children? Should we be getting married? Should we be getting the next promotion in work? Like, and kind of helping women deal with that. So we've set up our website now, and we're going to do some one-to-one coaching, and we're going to run some courses as well on like self-care and that kind of stuff. So I'm really excited.
That's fantastic.
That is really good. And I can't remember, the chap who was talking about the millennials. And he's saying that they're the people because they had it easy, so they didn't have to strive so much. So they are in this space where they've got low self-esteem, low self-confidence, and a lot of them have got anxiety and depression. It's because they don't have a focus. So everything's been so, good to them. The parents have been good, they've had everything they wanted. So it's like striving for that purpose. That's really good. You're trying to find what people's purpose is.
Yeah, because they say that self-esteem and confidence comes from a self of belonging, and also the more you do, the more confidence you have. So if you're saying, Danielle, with the millennials, it's been easy for them. They didn't have to do so much.
Yes.
So they haven't got that feeling of maybe responsibility, which gives you self-esteem, actually, as long as it's
Yeah.
in balance, you know.
Because you know, like at 28 I already had my first house and so on, you know, and no one helped us, you know, no one helped us. We did it all by ourselves. But the millennials, they're still at home, and house properties are sky high, and they can't, and also work-wise, they don't get fulfillment, whereas, you know, our generations, you know, the past generations, you know, it's like you have to work like 20 years before you get to the top of the ladder. But millennials, they just want to be at the top quickly.
Do you think, Laura, that because one of the things that's different with the millennials and with like Danielle and myself was that there wasn't so much of a choice, and there's been just so much of a choice. Like Laura, you could do and be anything you absolutely wanted. But in our generation, there were limitations, whether that was because you were a woman or whatever. But we felt limitations with what we could do and what we couldn't do. I think that's the difference. Did you?
Yeah.
Do you think that's
I also think
the choice?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like sometimes having all of the options can also be a bad thing, because you start something and you're like, oh, but I could do anything, and it's so much easier to choose. Like if you've got like a few things to choose from, it's easier to like go with something and feel like you've made the right choice and you're going down the right path. Whereas when you've got this opportunity to do anything and everything, I find it quite overwhelming. But not just that, we also have this insight into everybody's lives that people didn't have before. Like people didn't share everything in so much detail on social media, and not only that, but like on social media, we just showed the best parts. We're not showing like all the rubbish parts of our lives. We're showing like the best parts. Like, so everybody thinks that everybody else's life is better than theirs. And then when you're in your life and you're struggling and you're like, well, they're doing this and they're getting that, like maybe I should be doing that. And I think social media has been like, I mean, it's amazing. I'm connected to people all over the world. But I think it's also a massive cause of some of the anxiety and depression that people are feeling right now.
Yeah, true. They say people on Facebook, young people, tend to have a very high level of, you know, self-esteem, low self-esteem, therefore depression and anxiety and so on. And so you're going to change all that now, isn't it, for a small group of people, you know, or better still, international, you know, to get through to people. I think that's a great thing. Helping the millennials, I think, you know, first and foremost, they're going to be the future leaders, aren't they? Aren't you? You're going to be. So that's fine. So so our next question is: are you going to be traveling much?
Well, not right now.
No. Oh no, some places are opening anyway. So
yeah, so I am actually going to be giving traveling a little bit of a break. I love traveling and I plan to travel those in the future. But this year I've taken, so lockdown has been amazing for me because I've just taken so much time to myself. So I'm living in an Airbnb at the moment, and I've been here by myself for 4 months now, 5 months. And
are you in an Airbnb? Where is that?
I'm over in Langstone.
In an Airbnb? You're not with your dad? Staying with your dad?
No, I've been here for a while now.
Oh gosh!
Yeah, it's lovely.
Have you seen? Have you been able to see your mum? Or
yeah, I've seen my mum a few times. To start with, we'd meet up going shopping, so we just go shopping at the same time. But yeah, there's a lovely garden here, so we spent some time in the garden as well.
That's really interesting, isn't it? Airbnb.
Wow. So Laura, is there? Can you think of a book that you found particularly, you know, really awakened you or changed you or inspired you? Can you think of a book that you've read, one particular?
So something really. So I bought my mum a book for her birthday, because it was her birthday just before the lockdown happened, like maybe 2 days before. It was her birthday, and I bought her a book, and I saw it on the shelf, a bright yellow book, my favorite color, and it's called How to Be a Badass. And start living.
Yeah, I've got that book
or something. I know the green book.
Yeah, so I bought that for my mum, and I gave it to her, and she opened it and she had a look, and she was like, oh, I can't wait to start reading this. So I sat there and I read the first few pages to her, and I read them, and I just thought, I need to read this book. Like, it just speaks to me. So I bought the book on audiobook because I'm dyslexic, so I struggle with reading. And I thought to myself, if I'm reading it, my mum's reading it, like, why don't we start a book club and see if someone else wants to read it? So I now have a book club that happens, we meet twice a week on a Monday, so we're meeting tonight, and a Wednesday for an hour. And we like read a chapter, talk about the chapter, read another chapter, talk about the chapter, and it's great. So I think there's probably about 10 of us that like dip in and out, but we've got like a solid maybe 7 or 8 every week that attend. Yeah, and it's great. And I set it up, well, firstly because I wanted to make sure I read it, and because I'm hosting a book club, like I have to know the content, so I have to read it well, think up some questions, like start the discussion. So yeah, that's been really great, and that's another lovely thing that's come out of lockdown. And I've got like a lovely group of people that want to better themselves, and you can have them conversations with, and it helps a lonely time as well. So yeah,
I think it's a wonderful idea, for young people to do that, to dip into kind of alternative way of thinking, so I was listening to Radio 2 just now, not me, my husband had it on, and this woman had a stroke, and she was saying, it's nothing to do with the book club, sorry, I was just thinking about yoga, and she said just by moving her limbs, just like a few toes or something, it's like climbing Mount Everest. So the amount of energy you put into your moving just a couple of toes, that she did that, and now she's able to walk. And I thought, wow, it's amazing how we are made, isn't it? Mm-hmm. And so all the time, if we can stretch our brain matter, we think what we can achieve. So I think if we just look at all the pluses during this lockdown, I think most of us will come out of it, fully grown. Just like, well, we've contributed to our self-worth, isn't it? We've contributed to finding who we are deep down. So I think the book club is really good for young people to kind of dip into that kind of thinking. That's amazing. Just
the book club is
becoming actually depressed and what have you.
Yeah.
Sorry, Laura.
The book club's actually people of all ages. I'm the youngest person there.
Oh, I see. I thought it was just mainly for young people.
That's fantastic. Yeah. I'm not surprised, because I remember in your astrology chart, you're a very old soul. I remember when we were looking at your chart, your moon, and very old soul. So I'm not surprised at all. So you may be young to look at, and your age may be young, but you go back and back and back and back, and you've got heaps of wisdom. So it's all there in the stars, definitely in your chart. Yeah.
Yeah, you've come here. We've all come here to make a mark, haven't we? One way or the other. Just like. Yeah. So tell us about Australia.
Australia, yeah. So I spent a year there, and I did a lot of farm work.
And you weren't scared. You weren't scared in traveling. Like on your own. Did you go with someone?
Yeah, so I went alone because I always wanted to travel, and I just couldn't find anyone to travel with. And I was in a really long-term relationship, quite a toxic relationship, when I was in university. And I told him that I wanted to travel, and I was only going to I was like, I need to get out of my system, I need to do something. So I was going to go to Thailand for a month, and only not like the party Thailand, but like going through the jungle and like going on like this trip with these people. And he was like, if you do that, I'm going to leave you. So I was like, I really want to go. I'm going to do something after university. Like, I feel like I need to go somewhere. And it's been my dream since I was like, as long as I can remember, to go to Australia. I'm not sure why. Maybe because I have a cousin out there. I've got a long lost cousin who I tried to find,
see.
but
Right, okay.
actually find. So maybe it's because I used to watch Blinky Bill on video when I was a kid, which is like an Australian children's show that they sent over to me. But the first place I went on my way to Australia was to Hong Kong. And looking back, it was probably not the best choice of first ever country to travel to alone, because I got there and it was unreal. Like, I had no idea where I was going, and I booked into a hostel. It was called Rainbow Hostel, and it was in one of the giant buildings that are everywhere there, probably on like the 20th floor or something. And it was basically an apartment block that I went into, like a really run-down apartment block. And I was trying to find it. And like, there was someone's house there, like their apartment. And then in the door next door was a hostel. And I looked up at the ceiling, and like none of the panels were on. There were all like wires falling from the ceiling. And when I went in there, it was tiny. And I was in a room with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Must have been 12 people in this room, because the bunk beds were 3 bunk beds, and the bottom one was literally a mattress on the floor. The middle one was probably about my hip height, maybe a little bit higher, which was the one I was on, and then the next one was really high up, and you had to climb up the lockers to get on the top. And I walked in there.
Was it mixed?
And I was like, what am I doing? Can I do this for a whole year? Like, what am I doing? And it smelled funny. And I was so like, I got there and I was like, what are you doing?
Oh, how old were you then, Laura, when you went there?
I think 23. So I wasn't that young, but yeah, 23 or maybe 20. Yeah, probably 23.
Wow.
Yeah.
You was really strong, isn't it? Really grounded, in a way, because to travel on your own to a different country, that it's really quite demanding. But I'm really interested in the toxic relationship, so that maybe people who are listening might get clues before they get any further. So maybe if you can maybe say a few, some advice as to what you should look out for. And don't wait until it's really toxic to get out.
Yeah, I guess it's about listening to your gut. We've all done it before. We've all, after something's happened, we said, like, I just knew it. Like, I knew this was going to be a bad idea. Like, I knew that something was going to go wrong. And you do know deep down. And sometimes you let other people talk you out of that feeling. And so
or maybe some other people telling you that's not the right person.
Yeah. So if none of your friends like them, that's normally
that's another good tip. That's a good tip. Yeah,
because I see it so often. But then it's not other people's place to tell you what to do either. Like, you have to realize this stuff for yourself. But yeah, I think a red flag is definitely if none of your friends like your partner, you need to step back and reflect.
Yeah. And
so did you find the relationship controlling, Laura? Because that can be a sign as well, can't it?
Yes, it was just toxic in so many ways. Like, I did things I didn't want to do.
Older than you then?
No, he was roughly the same age as me.
Oh, right. Oh, that's a shame, isn't it? Real.
Yeah. But he taught me a lot. Like, he taught me how to love again after after some traumatic stuff happening to me. And he taught me the love of family. And he taught me how to feel again. And so I don't regret any of it.
No.
But it was a big,
something that you had to go through to find yourself,
yeah.
and to start loving yourself. And I hope he's doing the same thing. I hope,
Yeah, so he has a partner and a child now. So yeah.
He's moved on, which is lovely. But when it happens to you, it's quite painful, isn't it? Anyone who's separated. Very
it was so hard to leave as well, because their family become your family, and when you leave, you're leaving all of that behind.
Yeah.
And I think that is one of the reasons why so many people stay in toxic relationships. It's not necessarily because of the person and they know they should leave, but it's the fear of change. Like, you're changing your life, you're changing the people you hang around with, like your whole world is about to be flipped upside down.
Yeah. But so you're giving hope to loads of people, loads of young people as well, who are in toxic relationships, but they don't seem to realize it. And we've been speaking. We just got 10 minutes left.
I would have done it on my account.
Yeah, I was going to say, Laura, you eat a very healthy diet, don't you? Are you a vegan or a vegetarian?
So I am 80% vegan. So I do like 80-20. So I'm pretty much a vegan, but I'm not very strict, and I don't want people to tell me I can't eat things. So like, if someone comes out with a cake, I might like a piece of cake, but most of the time I'm vegan.
Well, that's the way to do it, because if it's somebody else telling you what to eat, because you might want a piece of cheese or something, and it's not vegan. A piece of fish, if you have to by mistake, it's not the end of the world. So really, that's good, because you don't want to be like forced from the outside, from the vegan society, to say, well, you can't eat this, you can't eat that. It's up to you to decide what you want to eat.
Yeah, I really
good things, so long as if it's good. Yes.
I was going to say, can you recommend a really good green juice for everyone? Because I know you drink green juice, don't you? You make your own juices, yeah?
Yeah. So the one that I do regularly is the green in it comes from the spinach and the kale and an apple. So they're like the three main components. And then I add some ginger to help with illness. So especially after like abusing my body for so long, I feel like it's really, really important to be healthier and do these things that are going to cleanse your body. And I actually eaten pizza 2 days in a row and I feel horrible. And I've had like spots all come up on my chin, and I'm like, I just need to eat some vegetables.
Yeah, your body tells you anyway. Your body tells you. And also, could you give us an exercise that people can do, which is simple?
Like, you want me to?
Yoga. Yeah, show us.
I don't think I'm wearing the right top to show you a yoga exercise.
Oh, no. I'm just saying, tell us your morning routine.
So I would say sun salutations. Like, sun salutations are really easy to do. You can look them up on YouTube.
Yeah.
They're good for helping backache. They're good for, like, when you sit down, if you've been sat at desks a lot, your posture, your shoulders tend to round. And what sun salutations do, and especially the downward dog position, is it actually pulls your shoulders back to where they're supposed to be. It can also really help with backache, which I haven't experienced myself at helping that, but that's what all of my yogis tell me. They're like, my back feels so much better now.
Look, so, yeah, I'm sitting straight. See, I was crouching before. Okay. All right, then you do the sun salutation, and then what? So you wake up. What's the first thing you do?
The first thing I do is I write down my dreams while I'm in bed. I write them down just on my sticky notes. So I've got like one here for dreams, and then I stick that into my journal on top of what I wrote the night before. Then I make my bed, and then I get up and I drink my lemon water. So sometimes lemon and ginger, sometimes just lemon water. And then I do some yoga, so maybe some sun salutations or something like that. Or even just some gentle stretching in the morning, just to kind of wake up the body. Something nice and slow. Maybe I go for a walk, and I do only just a really small meditation as well. So I just do 10 minutes of sitting quietly and breathing. Yeah. And I have to keep a pen next to me, because that's like when all my ideas come, I'm like, I just want to meditate. I want to empty my mind, but all these ideas are flowing. So I keep a pen by me.
Oh, excellent. Do you say a little prayer?
Not a prayer as such, no, but I do gratitude. And yeah, say thanks for all the things.
Oh, that's
What about manifestation? Have you done any manifesting, Laura?
Yes, definitely. So in the book we've been reading, that talks about manifesting and manifesting the life you want, the relationships, the people to surround you. Yes. So we've also been reading Jen's second book, which is You Are a Badass at Making Money. So that's what we're reading in book club at the moment. So we've been manifesting some money.
So is she British, or
I believe she's American, and she was coached by Gina DeVee. You know the lady I like? Yeah, she coached her.
So so come back when you've made your millions, because that's really good, because money is important, isn't it? It's
So because
to make
of
changes
Jen,
in the world, we need to have the dosh.
Because of Jen and her books, she's persuaded me to get a coach, and I'm actually going to be moving to London in September.
Oh, are you? Cool. You travel so much, don't you? You just like, you're like a butterfly. You fly from here to there. I know you've done so much, haven't you? Really, you've. Did you go to what events have you attended? Big events.
Are you talking about the Tony Robbins event?
Yes.
So that was incredible. I know we've spoken about spiritual awakenings before, and that was definitely one for me. After going on my yoga training, which was very spiritual, very like feminine healing energy, it was so beautiful. And then after that, I came back to the UK and I went to Tony Robbins' W event, and I think there were 12,000 people there. And when you've got 12,000 people in a room together meditating, it is one of the most beautiful things ever.
So when is the next one? Because I know Michael was saying, are you going to one, or when is
so he's doing the online one at the moment. So Tony's decided to take his stuff online, because obviously he's not able to do an event in a room filled with 12,000 people like hugging. Like it's not going to happen. I think they've pushed it back to September for the Birmingham one, but I doubt it's going to happen in September, or maybe October it's been pushed back to. So there is one happening in the UK at some point, but who knows when it'll actually be.
How expensive was that?
Very. Well, it depends. But actually, you said I worked for the Pop-Up Business School, and they paid for me to go before I left. I think they paid £500 per person, and that was when it was at its cheapest. So the prices vary between £500 and £1,000 for the ticket that we had.
Wow.
And what did it bring you?
It helped me get rid of my limiting beliefs. It helped me believe in myself. It helped me just get rid of some old stuff that was holding me back. Yeah.
Was it because he was talking, or because he was giving you tips of how to get rid of limiting beliefs?
So what he does is he builds you up through the first day. So he kind of makes you believe that you can do anything, like through the first day. And at the end of the first day, you actually walk on hot coals, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, so you did that.
Yeah. I walked across hot coals.
Yeah, I did that too. Years ago. I didn't have to pay £500 either, you know. I was like, yeah, we were raising money for Marie Curie, you know, charity event.
Okay, we've got 1 minute left.
Okay,
Sandra.
1 minute left.
Interrupt. So Laura, can you say your website or something, or somewhere on Facebook where people can go and find you, or where can they go?
Yeah.
To find you.
So loveyourdamnself.com is my new website with my friend. Yeah, so that is the best. We're giving away 4 free coaching packages to 4 millennial women at the moment. So we've got, I think we're doing it over 8 weeks. So we've got like 6 sessions over 8 weeks that we're giving away to 4 women. So just 1-to-1 sessions with us. So
wow.
Hopefully.
And that's on your website. They can find that on your website, yeah?
Yeah, so the sign up link is on the